I'm new at YouTube, and starting over at over 40 feels different than I thought it would. Every time I think I'm ready to upload, I find one more thing to fix. And being new at something at this stage is really uncomfortable. And we tend to complicate things more than they need to be. When you start YouTube over 40, the impulse is to get everything precise before you begin. But that instinct, the need to get it just right before you start, that doesn't protect you from being new at it. I'm Laurent. You understand that growth comes from publishing regularly. When you keep adjusting instead of releasing your work, it's like you're trying to skip the part that actually teaches you. At this point in your life, you're used to doing things properly. It's not easy to be experienced in life and then being new at something again. Instead of publishing something good enough, you might tend to overwork things a little. Delaying work might even feel responsible, but it keeps you at the starting line. Your first videos aren't meant to be the best. They're meant to be your first videos. And this is what that looks like. You finally get to record your video, and instead of uploading it, you rewatch it. You fix one thing, then another. Then you rewrite it altogether. A week passes and you haven't published your video. The platform isn't hard to use, but the real issue here is not wanting to look foolish. We're told to feel like that. But if you start the right way, that won't be you. In your career, you won't let a project stall over small fixes. On YouTube, these details start to feel a little bit critical, but they're really not. What matters more is the data you get from your live video. You can't improve what hasn't been posted. If you keep fixing things before the video is published, you're working on details the viewer hasn't even seen yet. At this stage of our lives, we have a professional identity, and we're used to doing things properly. It can start to feel like you're being tested. You're not being tested. You're just figuring this out, and you're doing it in full view of the public. And naturally, you want to look like you've been doing it for years. But being good at other things doesn't remove the need for you to learn this thing first. You still have to put in the hours, and you still have to look new while learning. Starting YouTube over 40 puts you back in a visible learning phase. That's uncomfortable, and it changes how you act. Many professionals try and hide that early stage by over-editing or delaying uploads until everything is perfect. You just don't want to look new. You'd rather look like you already know what you're doing. But this platform doesn't work like that. You have to learn it by doing it. When you delay a video to fix it, you're usually trying to protect how you look. It's hard to publish something when you know the work isn't perfect. But the more you refine it, the longer it takes to upload your videos. When you stop focusing on getting the video out, you begin looking at other things instead. You look at the lighting, the sound, then the script and the thumbnail. Each of these makes sense on their own, but together they slow you down. Confidence usually comes when you start it, and you get better by doing it more regularly. The equipment helps, yes, absolutely, but they're not the main work. When you write a new script, choose one thing to improve instead of changing everything. Trying to remove every mistake slows you down. Accepting something is good enough allows you to produce more. It helps you grow confidence and gives your viewers a reason to trust you. Trying to avoid mistakes can feel responsible, but on YouTube, it can stop you from posting. Each video simply helps you improve. The bigger risk is spending months getting ready for a channel that never starts. Most people won't see your first 10 to 20 videos. Stress less. Your early videos are there to help you learn. Another thing you might not expect is boredom. You write the script and it feels strong at first, but the next day when you look at it, it feels flat because it's now familiar to you. You've gone over it so many times you almost know it by heart. But your viewer is hearing it for the first time, and your script might be the advice that is often most useful. When you publish, you lose control over the reaction of your audience. You decide when to publish it, indeed, but you don't control how people react to it. You decide when to publish it, but you don't get to control how people react. At some point, you just have to upload the video and let the viewers decide if it works. In the beginning, I also got stuck in the rewrite cycle. I honestly don't think there's a creator out there who hasn't done this. So you have this great idea and you write the script, but when you look at it the next day, it suddenly feels off. So you change it. But instead of getting stuck in the rewrite cycle, set a deadline and move on. Your viewer doesn't share your fatigue. If it's clear and useful, that's enough. After that, you edit it and you publish it. Moving through that cycle repeatedly is what builds momentum, and that is what builds confidence. There's such a thing as the almost ready loop. Everything looks ready, then you doubt. You change one thing and then you change another thing, and almost ready becomes a delay. By doing that, you're waiting for a feeling that may never come. If you're stressing about publishing, your early videos builds data for YouTube to analyze. One video shows very little, but 10 videos shows a pattern. Plus, you get to learn by publishing. When you have years of experience behind you, it's natural to focus on details. You care about what your video looks and sounds like, and that's not a bad thing. The problem begins when improving small details replaces publishing. On the platform, progress comes from doing the same thing over and over again. It doesn't come from spending weeks trying to perfect one video. It's important to understand, if you continue refining instead of publishing, the channel doesn't move forward. Overcomplicating also shows up in the size of the topic you choose. Because you understand how the parts connect, you might try and explain all of it in one video. That often makes it harder for the viewer to follow. They don't need the entire system all at once. They need one clear idea they can understand and apply. When too much information is included, the message becomes harder to absorb. Breaking larger subjects into smaller parts doesn't weaken it. One focused idea in each video builds more progress over time. Once your work is public, the response becomes real. Your analytics will show you what happened, where people stayed and where they left. This is where real improvement begins. Remove decisions that slow you down. Starting something new at this stage in life is not only about skill, it's also about energy. You have responsibilities, work, family, and real-life commitments. That means your available time is limited. If you treat each video like a major production, you will exhaust yourself. And exhaustion is not sustainable. The goal is consistency you can maintain. That requires honest planning. How many hours can you realistically allocate each week? Not ideally or theoretically, but realistically. If you have 6 hours, build your process around 6 hours. If you only have 3, build it around 3. Trying to operate at a level your schedule can't support will lead to frustration. And when that happens, people quit. So simplify your workload. Limit how long you spend recording or script writing. Choose formats that fit your capacity. This doesn't mean lowering your standards. It means matching your effort with your own reality. If your channel is meant to support your family one day, it has to survive long enough to grow. That requires pace. Burning energy in the first months does not create stability. Steady output does. There is also emotional capacity. When something's new, it takes more mental effort to get it done. Over time, that effort reduces. Recording becomes normal, editing becomes routine, and your decisions becomes faster. But you only reach that stage if you don't overload yourself early on. So build a system that you can repeat without strain. That's how this becomes a sustainable channel. Your early videos look humble, and that's normal for new creators. With time, your effort and practices will build confidence and comfort. As a new creator, a simple routine takes the pressure off you and makes the work feel less complicated. I'm building this channel from the beginning, and I'm learning in public. I'll share the mistakes I make and the progress as they happen. If this way of looking at YouTube makes sense to you, please like and subscribe, as it helps the channel reach more people who are also learning. If you are interested in following along, please see the link on the screen for more videos.